In Microsoft Access, the most basic type of form is a detail form. It shows you part or all of a single record from a single data source, and that's either a table or a query. Another common form is a split form. This is a combination detail form and datasheet, and you use a split form when you need to view large amounts of data, but you only need to change one record at a time. For example, you can quickly locate a record here in the datasheet, and then use the detail form to fix an error. If you need to work with related data, you create a subform. Now, this may look like a split form, but it isn't. Split forms display data from one source, while subforms let you view and change the data on both sides of a relationship. For example, say you want to see the computers provided by a given supplier. A subform is ideal for that, with the suppliers listed here in what's often called the parent form, and the assets from that supplier listed below in the child form. Subforms aren't hard to create. In some cases, Access will create them for you automatically, and we'll show you how to build them later in this course. If you need to work with large amounts of data, but you don't want a split form, you can create a multiple items form. It looks a lot like a datasheet, but gives you more control over things like text formatting, the sizes of your columns and rows, and you can add controls such as these buttons here. And you've already seen one, but you can create a datasheet form. It looks and feels like a datasheet, but because it's a form, you can remove fields without affecting your underlying data. Most of the time, you'll probably use multiple item and datasheet forms as the child forms in a subform. Access 2010 also provides a new form called a navigation form. Navigation forms display a set of tabs across the top, or the sides, or both, and clicking a tab opens a form or report linked to that tab, like so. And if the forms you've seen so far don't meet your needs, you can open a blank form, choose a record source, and drag fields to the form. The control that appears on the form depends on the data type set for the field. For example, if you drag a lookup field to the form, Access inserts a list control, and if you drag a yes/no field, Access places a checkbox control. Now, that's quite a few types of forms, and you may have noticed that we haven't covered them all. For example, you've probably seen the Form Design and Form Wizard buttons, and these options in the More Forms list. If you need information about them, see the links in the quick reference card. Finally, remember one thing. When you create a web database, you can't use certain kinds of forms. Access places the forms you can't use on a menu called Client Forms, and you simply don't add those forms to your web databases. So next, we'll look at how to create the types of forms you've seen here.